Our candidates are Faye Griffin, who is the Republican running for county clerk and recorder, and George Stern, who is the Democrat running for county clerk. So let's begin with Ms. Griffin. If you have 2 minutes for an opening statement.
Thank you, and thank you for being here. Thank you for the church to have us, and thank you for the League of Women Voters. We've been having these several nights now. My speech is always weird because if I practice a speech, I probably would end up being more tongue-tied. So let me just tell you a little about myself. I am Faye Griffin. I am currently your clerk and recorder. I have been at the county a number of years, maybe close to 40 years. I have always enjoyed working for the county. I've worked for Norman C. Allen, who was my county clerk at that time when I started. I worked for Joan Fitzgerald. I was her chief deputy. I decided when Joan decided she was going to run for higher office that I might try to do this. I know the job, but to be a politician, I've never considered me that. I'm a worker. I have experience, I have knowledge, I know the office, upside down and backwards. We have come from basic knowledge of things to where we are today. Right now, we're having a new motor vehicle system. Of course, right now, too, you're getting your ballots in the mail. Maybe you've received them already. I just want to say that I have experience, I have knowledge, and I care for the county. I was born and raised in Golden, went through Golden High School with my husband. I will be married 59 years tomorrow. We have 3 children. We have 7 grandchildren and almost 10 great-grandchildren. One is expected on November 29th. I know the job, I love the job, and I'd appreciate your vote.
Mr. Stern.
Thank you so much. Happy anniversary, Faye. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you so much to the Jefferson Unitarian Church for hosting us and for all you do for our community. And thanks especially to the League of Women Voters. This is the 4th event they've put on for us. They do a phenomenal job of promoting elections in Jeffco and nationwide and have been doing that for 98 years now. I'm so grateful for the work you do to help promote our elections. I think it's critical work, and I really appreciate it. For those of you I don't yet know, my name's George Stern. I am an attorney and a business consultant here in Jeffco. I'm also a volunteer firefighter here in Jeffco. I serve just west of here in Golden. We cover only the city proper, so not the church here, but I've worked a lot with the folks who do cover here. And my family and I couldn't feel luckier to live in Jefferson County. 4 generations of us live in the area. And I'm so excited to be running to represent this community we love as clerk and recorder. I'm running for clerk because I think local government has never been more important than it is today, given the gridlock and the partisanship we see at higher levels of government. And the clerk's office is the perfect place to make sure local government's working for everyone because it oversees areas that impact everyone, including all of our county DMV offices and all of our elections. I'm excited to talk more with you about my vision for the office today. But again, thank you for being here.
Thank you. Our first question, in your opinion, what is the most important issue facing the Jefferson County Clerk and Recorder today, and how do you plan to address it? Ms. Griffin.
Thank you. When you talk about the most important, of course, the most important situation that we have at Jefferson County is our citizens, serving the public, making sure that everything is accurate. It's also making sure that our elections go well, our motor vehicle department goes well. All that is based on my staff. My staff needs to be knowledgeable, has to be friendly, has to be good. We continue to work with our staff in training. It's difficult because many times we train these people and they find a better job, a higher paid job somewhere else. And you know, when they were talking a little while ago about 20% of our people, I've been very fortunate because I have employees that have been at the county 30 years, 25 years, 20 years, and so on. It's the newer people that come in. We need to make sure that they can stay. They're bright, they're successful if they understand the system that we have. And so I think right now, again, the very first thing on my list about what I expect from my people is service to the public, making sure that our people are trained and knowledgeable and are courteous to our people. And I really I'm very proud of my people because they are good. I didn't expect to have any 3 minutes to talk about any of these subjects, so I'm going to quit for now. But I will tell you that service to the public, my service to the public. I love the county. I've lived here all my life. I wouldn't go anyplace else. My husband a long time ago said when he retires, he's going to go put a snow shovel on the front of the camper, and when somebody says, "What's that?" we're moving there. I said, "Not me. I'm staying right here where our mountains are, where our beautiful blue sky and our white snow, and now all the leaves on the ground." This is an unusual year, and again, I'm proud of where I work. I'm proud of my history with the county and my duty to the citizens.
Thank you. Mr. Stern.
Thank you. So I couldn't agree more that the employees of the Clerk and Recorder's Office are excellent. What I think is our top issue is making sure that from the top down we are working to innovate and to modernize in this office so that we are doing the best we possibly can to be serving the people of Jefferson County every day. And I say that because the clerk's office is one of the most public-facing offices in all of government. And I think the more we can do to make sure that we are customer-focused, the more we can be doing to make sure that people are having a positive experience with their government. And I'm not the only person who thinks this. When I was first looking at getting into this race, I made a point of talking to about a dozen clerks and deputy clerks from around the state, both Democrats and Republicans. I talked to folks in the Secretary of State's office as well, and I talked to folks at the Department of Revenue, both of which work very closely with clerks' offices. And my question was, what more could we be doing? And the response I got time and time again was we should be looking at not just seeing ourselves as an agent of the state, but seeing ourselves as a large county that really can be pushing the envelope to innovate in this office. So here's what that means. A modern and innovative clerk and recorder's office means a 21st century DMV. It means you're not coming into our offices and waiting in line anymore because you're able to do almost everything you need to do from 24-hour kiosks at King Soopers or better yet from your computer or from your phone while sitting on your couch. This technology is already in place. It's been in place now for a little while, and I think we are already quite close to being there. We just need to be pushing that envelope the way Arapahoe County is to make sure that we have kiosks in as many locations as possible, the way Adams County is to make sure that we have as many people signing up to do things online as possible, that we're promoting that broadly. A modern and innovative clerk and recorder's office also means updating our election security for 21st century threats, and it means doing more to promote our elections and to make voting as easy as possible. I think that I've worked in the public sector on elections. I'm an attorney. The greatest privilege of my life was serving in the White House under President Obama in his Office of White House Counsel. And I've worked as an attorney on both voting rights issues and in election protection issues. I'm eager to use that experience to make sure that our elections here in Jeffco remain some of the most secure in the country while also remaining open to all eligible voters. And that means doing things like having mobile voting centers that Denver has been pioneering, so that we're going to places where voters are and bringing our services to them, places like events and campuses and festivals, to make it as easy as possible to vote. Again, I'm eager to bring my experience both in the private and public sector to work on these issues, to use the already phenomenal staff that we have, to work with the already phenomenal staff that we have to make things even better. Thank you.
Our next question, which is going to lead right into what you were just talking about. What additional steps should the clerk and recorder take to ensure that our election is safe? This is a subject that we hear a lot about.
It sure is, and I appreciate you asking it, because I do think this is a critical issue. Look, I'll be the first to admit that traditionally we have done elections really well in Colorado. As Faye mentioned, your ballots just went out. 3 weeks of by-mail voting is an awesome thing that we have been leading the way on. I'm running because we have brand new threats to our election system that I think we can be doing a better job of addressing. For the first time in our history, a foreign government is actively trying to influence our elections. We learned from Robert Mueller's probe, Robert Mueller, by the way, a lifelong Republican. We learned from his probe that Colorado was one of the 21 states targeted by Russians, and that Russian agents actually came to our state leading up to the 2016 election. This is a real issue, and I think that it is so critical that we be doing more to get ahead of it. It's easy to say that our elections have always been safe in Colorado, and so we're fine. And that's true, they have always been. They have always been secure. But we need to be making sure we are constantly vigilant and constantly trying to stay one step ahead of bad actors, because God knows they are constantly trying to stay one step ahead of us. And this is a complex issue that has a lot of different solutions, but the one in particular I want to talk about tonight in the time we have is training. As I mentioned, I've worked as an attorney on election protection issues. I've worked alongside tech security experts from both the public and private sector on ensuring that our elections are secure. And it is so critical that we be training everyone working on our elections, the great employees we have, the great volunteers and election judges that we have, to make sure that they are prepared for any threats. So recently the Secretary of State's office started doing this. They did a phishing experiment. Phishing with a PH is the emails that hackers would send out to try and get your information. They modeled those types of emails to try and see how we were doing. And in their test, hundreds of employees from around the state clicked on those links. It only takes one click to allow bad actors in. This is why training is so important. This is why we need to be doing more of those tests, and this is why I'm excited to bring my experience so that no matter what's happening at the Secretary of State's office, we ensure that here in Jeffco, with our all-important swing county elections, we are training not just our employees, but anyone else who might have access to our databases, including our election judges, to be ready for any type of threat that's going to come our way. It's an important issue that I'm excited to be working on, because it really is, as you mentioned, is the one that's so important and so talked about today.
Thank you. Ms. Griffin.
First of all, Jefferson County has, of course, our IT staff that has firewalls, not just a firewall, but several firewalls that they monitor daily, hourly, every second they're checking on people trying to get into our system. Our regular employees, all of them at the county, take security tests, and if in case we happen to open up something that is in error and the phishing little screen comes up, this is a test and this is what we learn from. This is the kind of thing that you know. You take your mouse and you hover over the information on the top of it, so that if it says Faye Griffin at whatever, whatever, and then it has, this is not really Faye, you hover over the top line and you see what is really there. You don't click on these. They had tests that would say, hey, you won this and that. You get tickets to the Broncos. You get money from wherever. So we're all learning. The Secretary of State has this same test going on all the time with this phishing problem. Our systems, and what George was saying is true. We had people trying to get into our system. We were called, not we personally, but the Secretary of State was having to have people that came in looking at our system, making sure that it was right. Our state is the safest state in the whole United States to have our safe elections and the security. We don't let up on it. When we say We're right there looking at every new thing. When I asked my director of elections, who also is an IT specialist, he said, we are doing everything that is expected plus. Every time there's a new system, new anything, we are there watching all of it. The security in Colorado is the best in the United States. And I will say that I am proud of the fact that we have people that come in and tour what we do and see all the checkpoints that we have. We have one of our people that's here in the audience tonight that I appreciate everything she helps us with, but she's always there to help us and watch every step of the way. Your ballot is being watched and carefully either photographed, or there's film monitors going on all the time. So our elections are safe. We're not stopping at where we are. We will continue to find any kind of technology that might be there. My biggest problem is why are these people doing this? They ought to be doing stuff that would help.
Big question, big question. Mr. Stern, you have 1 minute closing.
Thank you so much. Thank you again to everyone for being here. Again, my name's George Stern. I'm running for clerk and recorder. I'm running because we love this community. Pam and I love this community. The 4 generations of our family who live here love this community. And I want to serve this community in a bigger way at a time where I think local government is so critical. I'm proud to have a lot of support in this race. I've been endorsed by Congressman Ed Perlmutter. I've been endorsed by Joan Fitzgerald, who was a former clerk and recorder in Jefferson County and went on to serve in the state Senate. And I'm proud to have a lot of folks who I've been learning from and who have been so helpful as we make sure that we're going to be ready for this job on day one. I'm asking for your support in November. We are 3 weeks out from today. Your ballots should be arriving shortly. Take some time to fill them out. Please vote all the way down your ballots, covering all of the races on there, including the ballot initiatives. And I hope to be working with you and serving you in the coming years. George Stern for Clerk and Recorder. Thank you so much.
Thank you both so much.
No, I get to say something.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Are you mad at me?
Totally nonpartisan.
I know. And again, I want to thank everyone for being here. And I want to say to the 2 candidates that are running for commissioner, I tell you, you are great speakers. I wish I was better at speaking to the public, but what I'm telling you is I know the job, I have experience, I love the job. I'd really appreciate your support. I know I've been at the county a number of years. I know that the employees depend on me and feel comfortable with me. One of the worst things there is about term limits is that my employees have to find new bosses every 4 or 8 years. So I do want to say that the security is really important to have people know that I'm going to be there again. With your help, please. I'm Faye Griffin, running for clerk and recorder again. Thank you.
Now